What's up, YouTube? Black Man in Vegas here. Just wanted to talk about my dating experience in Las Vegas. So I see a lot of people talk about this on social media and just in the world in general. And honestly, yeah, I've had some uh mainly on like just online. Like there have been some weird people on there, but I'm pretty have pretty good discernment skills. I feel like a lot of the things people run into as far as negative experience with partners, and not saying that people can't put on a front and be pretend to be somebody they're not, but I'm pretty good at reading energy, gauging people's interest levels, and I've never had anything too crazy. I have dated several people before I got with the woman I'm with now, but I hadn't really had anything too crazy. Just my personal experience. I did have some pretty fun girls that really put me on to certain nightlife events in Vegas. I'm not really too big in the going out, but they did put me on to some dope spots in the city, and that's how I kind of it had really helped me to learn the city a little bit, putting me on to like hidden gems. And I'm not from here, so when most people think of like things to do in Vegas, they think of the Strip or maybe even Fremont, but I remember one girl I was with at the time. She told me about Town Square, and I went there. She was telling me there how a lot of celebrities kind of frequent there, and I remember I just went there randomly. And I used to be a vegetarian guy, so I do enjoy trying any good plant based restaurants. And they have this one dope spot, whether you're vegan or not. I recommend you try it. It has really good food. It's called Down to Earth. And I ran into Miss Tabitha Brown there, and she's a North Carolina native like me. So I went in there and spoke to her, and I think her daughter even went to the same college as me. I think we're even around the same age, and it was a pretty dope experience. And I feel like it's just you guys got to know how to read situations. I see a lot. We've all seen like the talk on the modern men and women thing on YouTube. But I feel like some of the things people talk about, like, not saying that it doesn't exist, but I've never in my life had a woman ask me for money personally because I know how to vet people. And I'm not like, I feel like some people, they'll complain about that, but they'll lead with it and they'll try to get somebody that they know is probably out of their league and try to lead with the money. And then they end up getting a bad result because the person never had any real interest with them. And same with like, on the other side, I'm pretty sure with women, there's a lot of guys that probably have like these subtle red flags. This is really just in general, like a lot of people, male or female. To me, I always feel like there's subtle red flags. Like there have been women that I've come across that I felt like, I might have been attracted to them, but they did show these subtle red flags, whether they might have been like maybe either lukewarm interest or that they had some serious issues. And that's why I always like to talk to people, especially if you meet them offline, like a Hinge or something like that. I know a lot of people don't like online dating, and I get that. Like, is you can always gauge somebody's. There's more of a better energy exchange sometimes when you do things in person. I definitely agree with that to an extent, but I've never even really had any like crazy experiences with that. Like I use Hinge, and I have had a couple girls because this is Vegas, and a couple 304s as you people call it. I have had them, we have a normal conversation, but even the conversation is kind of fishy. Then they, after we message each other a few times, they, drop in like, hey, I don't know if you're into this, but I do charge for fun. And then I just block them after that. Hey, get your money, but not for me. I'm not into that. Hey, to each his own. But uh, I even with that, like the online dating, I haven't had like some people say they never get matches, but I don't know, man. You might just need to take better pictures. I know like sometimes man, you might not be ugly, but maybe you're not taking the best pictures and representing yourself the right way. I see people do this all the time on social media. They have these terrible pictures of themselves, and like especially if I know what they look like in person. But um yeah, I feel like there's something that I guess the experience is different for everybody. I never really had anything like I feel like since I'm in a big city, I do notice because I lived in Las Cruces, New Mexico before I moved here, so it's mainly a retirement community out there, and I'm 27, so I was there. The options were definitely more limited out there for sure. Like I'm out here in my 20s, and everybody out here is like 70, and you got to take into account not everybody may be because obviously in New Mexico most people are going to be Hispanic, which is nothing wrong with. I'm like I know the channel is Black Man in Vegas. This isn't any sort of like Black channel. I just thought it was a cool name for the channel. But not everybody may be open to dating outside their race. And there were a few women that I talked to, but just being honest, the population wasn't that high. And I felt like the women I did come across, I felt like I was kind of like, I don't know, settling. So I never want to feel like that. I feel like that's not good for either party, because you're always going to kind of be thinking about, okay, like where is my next option? So I just don't even like to waste people's time. So those are just really short flings, I guess you could call it. But I've definitely had more success out here, and like I said, I do have a girlfriend now, and have no complaints. I feel like it's just, and sometimes like when we don't get the results that we want in the type of partner we seek, I feel like sometimes it's on us. I can definitely speak to that. I definitely have had to make my own inner changes. I like to stay fit. That's something I'll talk about more in this channel. Sometimes like I may seem out of breath in some of these videos, because usually when I'm making these things, I'm usually like just came back from the gym. So I like to stay fit, keep my appearance up. The hair getting a little thin, but I like to keep that close. I used to have dreads, guys, but I wish I could get the waves back. But I feel like we all have work we need to do, and sometimes that can manifest in the partners we get. I felt like when I was younger, I got lower quality people because I was a lower quality person at the time. So I feel like we all got to take accountability. Men and women, we got to, do that work we need to do. And it's just as simple as that. But I know maybe you might need to take a break from dating. You might need to, work on yourself, maybe get your finances together. I know in my previous videos, if you guys have seen them, I've been talking about the whole jobless thing in Vegas. As of right now, I had lost my IT job in the process of, getting back into that same line of work. Although I do have some side hustles going to help sustain myself, but that is something that I do recommend if you feel like you're not where you're at, where you want to be at in life. This isn't necessarily a self-improvement video, but I kind of diverted a little bit, but I haven't had any crazy experiences. I just want to, share my thoughts. And I know every time somebody talks about, they're dating in 2025, it's always some crazy stuff like, oh, they only want money, or all these people are crazy, or they have some crazy experiences. And I'm not negating that. I mean, I'm sure that happens, but I'm pretty good, especially if you've come from a certain type of environment. I'm very good at reading people, especially if I meet them like off an app. I always got to FaceTime them first. Any person that's not down to FaceTime before me going on a date with them, I just don't even entertain them. I'm like, what are you so secretive for? Like, I don't know, that's a red flag to me personally, but I like to get that vibe. And it makes it less awkward when you go out on a date. And of course, like I said, you always have the in-person exchanges too, which, tends to screen that out as well. But just stay safe, guys, and, guys and gals, and, make sure, you're vetting people the right way. Because I haven't had, too many too crazy stories, but I'm also an introvert for sure. So I really have a low tolerance for anybody with any weird energy or just any type of negativity. So that's why I kind of, any type of red flags, I'm out the door fast with that. But thanks for watching, guys. Expect more videos. Still thinking of more ideas I can do. I do want to showcase my pets a little bit on this channel, but stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.